Hello everyone, it's Alana here. How are you guys doing? I'm just getting set up here on my page to make sure that everything is going. I see it there. I'll just open it all up and make sure that it's working for you guys. If you're here, just say hello and then I'll know that it's actually working for you. I see there's a couple of people there. And this is the card I came up with. Hi, Lucy. How are you? Sorry, I haven't seen any other names pop up yet, so I'm not ignoring anybody. Hello to everybody who's here. I will show you guys this card and what I created it with. I don't know that I actually opened up the bundle and showed it to you guys yesterday. I might have pulled the stamp out, but I don't think I actually showed you. Hi, Janet. Hi, Ramona. All right, so I went ahead and used the Cheerful Daisies. I think I was telling you guys yesterday that I somehow missed a whole list of stuff on the pre-order. I really wish there was a couple of other things that I would have ordered to play around with the in colors. And I still plan to choose something else that I can do a card in each color as opposed to putting all of the colors in one card. But I was trying to come up with something that I could put all of the colors in one card. So hopefully it's not too busy. And we just have to pretend that orange or leaves are orange on flowers. So yes, the leaves turn orange, but not always flowers. Some of them do, and they're getting really crispy in the fall. But anyhow, we just need to pretend. So hopefully you guys are good with that. So I use the Cheerful Daisies bundle. I'll just take out the dies. Hello everyone else that has popped in here. So these are the dies that I have not used. I have all of the others here. I meant to pop them on a magnet sheet and I forgot to do that. So we have the outline and then the detail for each of these. So we've got all of these. Mine are taped because I will be using them. So we've got those and then this nice detailed one. I was going to try to do something watercolor with this, but I haven't had a chance yet. So this will fit on there in some fashion. And then you get this nice label with it as well. So all of this, oh, and a stem. I have already actually pre-cut the stems because I figured you didn't want to sit and watch me stamp and die cut 3 of those. You guys will get the idea with the stem. But this is the bundle. So you get all of these in there, and I tied them all together with the in colors. So I hope you guys are excited. This an extra Easter treat. Yeah, my the catalog and the order arriving. It was great. So that's what I'm going to make. I'll give you guys a quick recap of the promotions that are going on before we get started. So if you choose to share the video, then you will get, and then you have to come back and comment that you shared just so that I know. I know I tell you guys that every time, but I just, in case somebody new is here or in case you forget that you have to come back and comment, that's the only way I'll know that you actually shared. Or I can see how many people have shared. I just can't see necessarily who it is. And so whoever wins that will actually win a copy of the card that I'll make tonight. So I'll put these aside. And so share if you wish to. And then I will also do a creative challenge on this one as well. And of course you guys won't be using this stamp set, but if you follow the layout or if you happen to have in colors and you want to post a project, and when I post the photo of this card, that's where you'll post the photo. So you guys can watch for that to post. I've already taken the photo. I will either share it tonight or tomorrow, and then you can come back and play along with my creative challenge for this. The last chance promotion, I still have that going here. It is this host code here. If you wish to place a $65 order, you will get a free gift. If you place a $100 order, you get a free gift, and then you'll get in on my retirement party class. So that is the host code. This print is very small. It's hard to see it, but that's the host code there if you want to do that. Or you can contact me and I can place it for you. All right. So we will get started, and I will go live again tomorrow. I already have the project made. I won't tell you guys what it is just yet, but that one will feature retiring product. So if you guys want to come back tomorrow, while we're here, comment and let me know what time of day tomorrow, afternoon or somewhere around this time. And then I'll go with what will work for the majority of people, and then it will post on my page afterwards. Okay, so we'll get started with the project. I have used, this is the new Pebbled Path. I actually really like this color. I'm very happy about it. This one's 4 1/4 by 11. I have used the watercolor side of, I believe it should be called, I don't want to say Cheerful Daisies. I almost said Cheerful Daisies, but the paper I showed you guys yesterday, fresh as a daisy. So I used this side here. It's got this really busy daisy pattern on the other side. So I went with this one here. There is, each of the in colors are featured on the back of the, I believe each of the in colors, but the backs of them have this more solid kind of pattern, or solid color anyway, of the in colors. And then I also used the back of this daisy pattern to cut this label. So that's not actually a straight up piece of cardstock. It's got a little bit of texture to it, and it's cut from this strip here. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we have the card base. I'll cut this piece down to 4 by 5 1/4. I just haven't cut the 5 1/4 yet. Yesterday I showed you guys with this card here, this die cut that is from the Fabulous Frames. Today I'm using another one from Fabulous Frames. So I'm using this one here. I love these. I was telling you guys yesterday, I'm so sad that they're leaving. They are on sale. So I will, again, look up the price of those for you guys. I think I told you what they were on sale for yesterday, but I will just quickly tell you guys again. They are 40% off for $25.80. So you get all of those. It's a great price. So today I'm using, take it off the sheet. This one, it cuts the frame as well as the insert for you. So I've got that. And then I have some cardstock for stamping. And then this pattern here is from the In Color 6x6 DSP. I'll also have some In Color Club information for you guys. Yay, I'm glad that you guys are posting some times here for me. So this is the In Color DSP. I did show you guys this yesterday, but just a real quick flip again. I chose this pattern here. It was kind of hard. I was like not liking this project halfway through and wasn't sure what I was going to do because I wanted to use some of the new stamps that I got, but I don't know. Hopefully you guys like it well enough to hang out with me for a bit. All right. So I will cut this one down as well. And then I also used, I just tucked them aside, these that coordinate with the suite, the adhesive backed solid gems. So we're going to use those as well. So I'm going to move the non-stamping things aside and we'll do the stamping first. It's pretty basic stamping because I was trying to limit it to, I shouldn't say pretty basic. There's a lot of stamping on there. And then I do also have to stamp on the background a little bit as well. And I put a little bit of the blends. I had already put those away. The saying is from the Daisy set. Isn't it cute? Your friendship means everything. I love the script. I love the fonts on there. I tossed my blends back in the box and I actually need those. Sorry, I had to go roll across the floor. That sound is probably not very nice. The chair rolling on the floor. But it is so much easier than getting up and sitting back down. Okay, so this is, I haven't labeled it yet, so the color's not on the end there, but this is the Pebbled Path, and they are a polymer set, which I love for this. And then I meant to get myself a second block for this one, but I didn't. So I apologize. We have to put up with having two stamps on there. So I'm using all three of the outline images. I'll just bring this back. So all three of these, and then you do get fillers for them. I'm not using the fillers. So we've got all those. And then there is the little flower center. I love how this one looks almost like a coneflower. I know it's a daisy, but I'll pretend it's a coneflower. I went sideways on this one. I don't know which way it's actually supposed to be, but. And then I'm trying to do this without getting my head in your guys' view. So we've got the little center. This one you can use on both of these. There we go. I love polymer for that. Somehow I got ink all over there. It's all over my hands too. And then I did this ahead of time. I stamped the stem onto Pebbled Path and I die cut it. I tried to just die cut it without stamping and it was too subtle. I've got one that's a little runaway. So I pre-stamped these in Pebbled Path ink on Pebbled Path cardstock and then die cut them. I figured I was saying you didn't want to sit and watch me die cut 3 of those, so I just did those ahead of time. I hope you guys don't mind. I think you know how to stamp and die cut some stems, so, or hopefully. Okay, and then I have the Your Friendship Means Everything, and I'll just stamp that in the center of this here. Especially greetings. I love polymer stamps. They're the best. Okay, so I'm done with most of those stamps. I just want to keep this one, which I'll show you what that is. That's this one here. I'm going to keep that handy because I still want to stamp a little bit on that piece of DSP. So I'll keep that handy, but in the meantime, I'm going to close this up because I need to die cut these. So hopefully, I should have maybe considered pre-stamping those and die cutting them so that you didn't have to watch me do that, but I hope you guys don't mind. We should check what other greetings. I'm just going to wipe off this ink though so that I don't get this all over everything. Do you guys get like me? My hands are covered in different colors of ink. I was making the project for tomorrow as well last night. So I've got different colors. So this one has, you made my day, oops a daisy, so sorry, and wishing you the brightest birthday. Those are nice greetings. Okay, so we have 3. I bet you that you could probably line up the texture. I wonder if they would line up like the lemon set that is in the spring catalog. I wouldn't be surprised if they matched up. I didn't try it, but I feel like I need to. There might even be, sometimes they release videos telling us how to use the product. So it might be worth my checking that, but I just haven't yet. I'm super excited for the other things that I have since I found the additional list. I missed a whole column. I had only looked at the sweets that we could pre-order. I hadn't checked the bundles. And kicking myself for that now because there's some really nice stuff on there that I now cannot wait for it to arrive. I know there's always lots of flowers. This one's a little tricky to find the right spot. Oh, I should have marked this. This way? No, it's got to go this way. Okay, guys. Help me. Where does the wheel stop turning here? This took me a few tries last night. There we go. I should mark them. I know some people mark it a particular way so that they know which way lines up. I'm just going to hop off camera for a second while I die cut these. So while I'll keep chatting with you, but if anyone else has hopped in since I first asked the question, for tomorrow's live, do you guys prefer afternoon or around this time? Let me know. And I've got that project ready to go already. It has been nice to be able to create again, that's for sure. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me way off camera here. All right, I forgot to color these first, but that's okay. It's just a very small amount of coloring, and I might have even done it after the fact when I made the samples yesterday. I kept creating last night after our live so that I would have them ready to go. It was a hard decision to decide. I promised you guys in color, so I went with this, but I was really excited to also show you guys the other card that I made for tomorrow. So if only I could do them all at once. Okay, so we have these, and then I just used the light version of each of the blends. Sorry, this is a little bit noisy with the crinkly paper, or the crinkly plastic. So I'm just going to use the brush tip, and I'm just going over the lines that the artist has given us to tell us that there's more detail there. So just like very subtle detail. I didn't want to get into a lot of coloring because I wanted to keep it pretty simple. Sometimes it just takes a long time to color. So going live isn't always the best place, but sometimes. So just a little bit of detail is all. You could always do none as well if you wanted, and I just left the center alone. And then I'll just do the same. I'll use the lines that the artist has given us just to add a little bit more. And it fades out into the cardstock a little bit too, so it won't stay quite as dark as it is on when I first apply it. I need a coloring lesson on these flowers. I don't know if some of you saw I've done a live before on coloring with blends by applying the blends to an acrylic block and then lifting it with a color lifter to get a really subtle colored image. And I need to try that with this. I was going to, but I didn't do it with with Memento ink. And so I need to just catch up on that. So we've got, or not catch up, sorry, I need to go back and retry it. All right, so I've got all of that stamping done. Now I just need to stamp on this layer here. So I've got this piece that I need to trim down, and while I'm trimming that, I'll also trim this one here. So this one is, I think, 1 1/4, and I will cut it down to 4 inches. So this piece here will be 4 by 5 1/4, and then this one is 1 1/4 by 4. And I chose to break into the In Color DSP pack as opposed to finding another pattern in the Daisy DSP, because I just found that the patterns, I just liked these ones together, and it was a little bit more of a solid but a bold enough difference without going into those really wild Daisy patterns. They were a little bit wild, I'll say that. But I think these are pretty. Okay. I'm just going to cover those up for a second. So this is 5 1/4, and then this one we're going to cut at 4. What do you guys think of the patterns for this year's DSP? I'm sad that there's no plaid. I love plaid, so that's a little bit sad, but overall I love this one. I really like that one. So that will get me by, I think. The last 2 years had plaid, so I was very happy with that, but that's okay. So I usually lay my original sample next to whatever it is I'm working on. So if this is the one I'm working on, I keep my original nearby, and then that way I can kind of line things up according to that. I am going to grab a little scrap sheet so that I have something to stamp on. So I've got, you can see this is the one. There might be a little hint on here as to what I'm stamping for tomorrow, if you saw that briefly. So I'm just going to line these up beside each other, and then I can see roughly where I want to stamp those little flowers. So this one here, which is this image here. And there was a sample in the catalog that had some stamping with this in the background. That's where I got that idea from. If you are ever stuck on ideas, pull out your catalogs or go on Pinterest and Like the catalog is always a good, or even the website. If you go on our website, in wherever the product is, like if you were to look this one up once this catalog goes live, or even if you go to Abigail Rose, which is what we used yesterday, if you look it up on the website, there's usually samples on there too. Those old yellow fussy centers. Yeah, Janet, those would. I do remember them. A few catalogs ago, we had those fluffy yellow flower centers. That would look awesome in there, and it would be perfectly sized for these smaller ones too. I agree. Or it's almost like fringe scissors if you cut little fringes and roll them up. I don't know if that would be too wild, but it might be. So I'm going to use Pebbled Path here again, and I am going to line this up about here, but I want to move that out of, I have to keep in mind that my frame is going to be there, so I needed to move in a little bit. I almost forgot about the frame. So this is going to go up here. You can ink that up. And then I want to stamp another one down here. So now those will allow for my frame and the flowers to go around there. So that's all the stamping that there is. I contemplated adding a third one in here, but I'm going to just leave it. I'm decently happy with this one here. Do you guys ever find that you just like your own project has to grow on you? I know I do. I was not loving it while I was making it, but anyway. Okay, so now I've got the Pebbled Path. I feel like I should stamp and insert, but for today I'm not going to. It'll be one of those, I'll have to add it afterwards. Okay, so we're just gonna move this out of the way now. Now I will glue this down first. What is your favorite in color? Do you guys remember the names from yesterday? I will go over them as we're creating. So this is Wild Wheat, and I'm applying it to Pebbled Path. And then we have Moody Mauve, Copper Clay, and Boho Blue. So tell me what your guys' favorite color is, and overall, do you like the new in colors? Last year's colors were such a huge hit. Originally, I wasn't crazy about them because they were so bright, but as soon as I got them, I quickly fell in love with them, and so many people loved last year's. I think it was like a nice change to have those bright colors. I have a little bit of excess on this one side, so I'm just going to trim that off. I like to trim my layers as I go if there's any discrepancy from one layer to the next, so I always keep my little trimmer handy for that. Or I try to, and then it gets lost in a mound of stuff. And then now I'm actually going to distress the edges a little bit. So you can see here, I agree, Ramona, those are my favorites. And this one. So it blends in a lot. So on here, I just distress the edges a little bit. So you get like a tiny little bit of white showing there that helps it pop just a little bit. So we are going to just do this. And this is just subtle. It's not a lot, just enough that you get like a slight bit of that white showing. I like to do this with cardstock sometimes. I don't always think to do it with DSP, but I really liked how it helped that. Here, I'll bring this closer so you can see. It just helps it pop a little bit more. So now we can glue this one down as well. Try to catch the comments here again and see. Janet, these colors totally remind me of you. I agree, Boho Blue. These ones, when I saw them, I was like, these are so Janet. Janet and Wendy, I felt like the two of you, that these were colors that reminded me of you. Is the sound cutting out really bad? I hope not. Yeah, they are antique-y. If, others, let me know if it's an issue for you guys too. Hopefully it isn't something from my end, but let's see if Ryan can help me sort it out if it is. All right, so now I have this here. We're gonna dimensional this frame onto there. And I just used dimensionals, the borders here is what I was trying to say. I think I said dimensional that on. I meant to say I just snipped in between the borders for the mini ones. And I'm going to be careful where I place the bottom ones. I tucked the stems, I have to glue dot that down a little bit better, but I tucked the stems up afterwards, so I don't want to cover the full bottom, so that I have room there to tuck these in. So I'm going to put one in the middle along the bottom and another, oopsie, throwing things here, in the corner. If you are a demonstrator, what did you pre-order? Did you pre-order yet? I am very glad. I feel super lucky that my catalogs went through on that order, which I was telling you guys if you were here yesterday that that's not common. I just totally had a brain fart and didn't remember that you can't expedite catalogs, and I keyed them in and it happened to go through, and I didn't realize that until I went to place a second order and add more, and it wouldn't add them. And then I remembered that, and I went to check my tracking thinking, well, how did that go through the first time? And they both actually shipped. So and they shipped them FedEx. So I was very glad that they actually sent them for me. Okay, so I just have to stand up and center this. I could not center anything. I couldn't put anything on straight for my life yesterday. Hopefully that's straight. There we go. So I just love the pebbled path on pebbled path. You could go really simple with this. I think those colors are pretty together, just like that. All right, then I dimensionaled this one up here, and it's just on a single layer for this one. And then I get into some double deckers after this. So this one is going to go up here a little. Okay. And then I did this one on a double decker here. And I just have to be mindful where the dimensionals are going for this one, because I want to tuck these little leaves in after. Yesterday I showed you guys, you ordered this morning with catalogs. Awesome. I just love a paper catalog. I don't know about you guys. I'll do an online one when I have to, but it is not my favorite thing to do. So I have a single decker over the flower and a double decker where it will attach to the DSP. The real version is always so much better, I find. And so I was happy to have it so that I could also price out what my in-color pricing will be. It doesn't actually go up much from last year. There's a lot of price increases. So if you guys are needing to stock up on like Tombow glue or cardstock, blends, stuff like that, eek, they are increasing in price. So this is your time. I think I'm allowed to share that. This is your time to get them if you need to. But overall, with what's included, the price only goes up $2.50. So thank goodness. With some of the increases, I was like, how am I going to do this? Nobody's going to be happy with this, but it should work out. With the greeting, I am going to just put a glue dot on this end and double decker the middle because it needs to be flush. I've pulled the backings off of those dimensionals so that I can attach the next one. And then I just need to grab a glue dot. I have never seen them come taped shut before. This is the first time I have ever had that. Have you guys? That is actually the wrong size, but that's the first time. Have you guys ever had that happen? So that's going to go right there. And then this guy, can't pick up anything today either. I am going to dimensional right over here so that I might have to move it over a little bit. No, it should be good. So that's gonna go on a double decker as well. And I'm gonna double decker right over here. And then I'll put a little single decker onto the little frame, just right here, to help hold that down. I'm gonna peel that backing. That's a useful step, isn't it? There we go. I wonder when our complimentary, we do get one complimentary catalog from Stampin' Up! As well. I wonder when those will show up. I forgot to tell you guys in the supplies at the beginning that we pre-cut some of these sets of the leaf. I don't think I mentioned that anyway. So I'll show you. Where did I go put the dies now? Right beside me. They're hiding under my dimensionals. So the leaves are this piece here. So from this detailed die, so I just cut a little square of the copper clay cardstock. I placed it over top of this corner and then ran that through 3 times. So that is where this little set of leaves came from. And again, we just have to pretend that flowers have orange leaves. And then that way we have a little in color mashup of, oh, and I want to keep the inserts. So yesterday I showed you on this card how I kept the negative space inside the flower and it kind of had a quilted look. It doesn't necessarily look quilted here, but I wanted to keep the negative space in there again for this. So I'll show you how I achieved that. I am going to glue dot these together and they get tucked in behind those flowers. And I can still tuck that little piece in there. I'm just attaching these together with a piercer. Now I need another little glue dot. And this will get tucked in there. I'll have glue dots stuck all over me. All right, now this is going to, now remember I didn't put very many dimensionals under this flower to start, so now I can just reach in here and tuck that in. All right, and now if I want to stick a dimensional in between there, I still can. Did you see that I just poked myself with that piercer? Now what I'm going to do is take a glue dot. I had flyaway glue dots last night while I was making this. It actually flung off and flew at me. So I'm going to tuck a glue dot behind this leaf on the frame and I'm tacking that down, and now I can take this little insert and just place it back in here. I placed the glue dot where it was in the opening, and now I've been able to tuck that back in, and I'm going to place another one behind here because I don't want that to fall out either. So I'm just going to tuck another one on the frame behind that leaf. So now that helps keep that in place. I have space for my stem to go. And then I just need to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to glue dot these together and we're going to tuck them underneath that side. Do you guys ever keep your negative space in your die, or do you always take them out? Sometimes I like when they come out of the die, if there's a lot of little pieces, and some just stick in there and some come out, so I'll just leave it. Often I poke them all out, but sometimes it looks nice to just let it be what it is. And I don't want these overlapping the frame or the card too much. Now under this one, I need to put a dimensional under it because it's not overlapping the frame. So I will show you guys what I'm going to do there. So this one, I'm reaching into the frame, placing that down on there. And then under this leaf, because it overlaps the frame, I am going to place a little dimensional under there. Now I can peel the backing off. And there we go. So now something is holding each of the leaves to their negative space. I hope that makes sense. And then I need to place another one. I'm just going to tuck another one up in that little opening there. So glue these together Thanks, Brenda. I really like the colors now that I've seen them. I liked them already when I saw the pictures of them. I love earthy colors, so I'm happy with them. And I loved bordering blue. It's actually not as close to bordering blue as I thought it was. I actually need to overlap this one a little more. These ones actually need to go in as separates. I forgot that because they are. So this one is going to go in there, and then I've got a glue dot on this one. So we're going to need to push that down. Just ignore that I did that. I stuck it down a little too much to the greeting there. And then I gotta tuck that one in. And I'm gonna go behind each one with a glue dot to hold it down, because it's just got a little one under the, just gonna hold it up with a pair of, no, I'll just use my hand. There we go. I hope you guys didn't have my head in your view there. So just lift that up. So I'm just placing it down to the DSP, and then that way now it's holding both of those pieces together. And I might need to just stick a dimensional. You saw how that caved down there? I don't want that. So I am going to hide a dimensional underneath there, and I'm not going to take the backing off of it. I'm leaving the backing on that dimensional. It's hiding the glue dot, so that now that glue dot isn't going to cave that down. See there, now I can push it and it doesn't stick. I could have just tucked a piece of cardstock even underneath there on top of where the glue dots were, and that would have covered it so that it didn't tack that down. Either way, as long as you have something that you can stick on top of it to prevent that from happening. So now we've got all of that in place. I just need to add the stems. Some of them I might need to shorten a little bit depending on how far up they can reach. And then I've got the linen thread bow and some gems to add. These gems are very pretty. I love faceted gems, and what I really like about these ones is that they come in 3 sizes. So we're gonna do some glue dots on the stems. And first, actually, before I glue dot them, I am just going to see, so that's butting into a dimensional there, right where I want it to go. So I know I need to trim some of this one off. So I'm gonna trim it off the top. So this now, I almost put it in the wrong card. I will be able to glue dot that. I'll even take just a tiny bit more off. There we go. So now I can glue dot that. So that is like dry fitting. I don't know if you guys have heard that term before. It's just before things are glued, you just do a quick fit to make sure of how things will work, where you're going to place them, and then you can apply the adhesive. Okay, so that is going to go there. This one can be a little longer because it's got to look like it's going all the way up to the Moody Mauve flower, but you can see it's kind of peeking up in there. So I'm going to take just a little bit off the top. We'll give it one more fit to make sure that it is good to go. And this one, oh, it's going to stay, actually, I'm going to use this one over here. I'll use the same one. It's good. I was about to say that I was going to turn it the other way around so that the stems didn't all look uniform, but we'll just leave it. And I'm trying to just not press these down as I work them up into there because they have glue dots on them. There we go. And we can also just pretend that stems are brown, but as we go into fall, we'll pretend that it's fall. The leaves can turn orange and your stems can go kind of woody, so we'll just pretend that that's what this is. Kind of like a rustic themed. And this one, I don't need to actually trim any off. So we're just gonna glue dot that guy. I'll also show you guys, I'll lay out the colors so you can see what will be included within Color Club. Does In Color Club interest anyone that are of you guys? Do you guys love the colors enough that that's something that would interest you? I understand always with In Colors that they're never going to please everybody, right? So it isn't something that everyone will always want to do. So that is the basic guts of the card. It's all the cardstock and paper pieces. So now we're going to add in the linen thread, which, there it is. I thought it had gone rogue here, but it is in my twine container where it's supposed to be. It was just hiding under another one. So we'll use, I love when it gets down to the end and it's a little curly, for the most part anyway. Sometimes it's a little wild, but I like the curly tails. All right. If they ever get rid of linen thread, we're in trouble. I was very sad when white twine was gone. They're two staples for me, white baker's twine and linen thread. I don't know about you guys, but we used to have jute or hemp twine. And I mean, that was sad when it left, but at least we still had linen thread. So if we were to, I'm just evening out the tails here. If we were to lose linen thread, I don't know, that would be a sad day. There was a time when it was, what's it called, on back order. That was bad enough because it's such a staple. Do any of you remember that? It was, of course, when I had designed something. I think everybody needed their own roll. So I've just put a little glue dot on that knot there. And that's going to go right there. These tails are a little wild, but you can always, I just take my fingernails and turn it a little bit if I need to. So then you can just kind of give it a new curl. I'll have to fix that one up afterwards. Took a little bit too much out of there. There we go. So that's fixed. The pearls are going, Brenda. You're right. That was shocking to me. I forgot all about that one. If any of you need the basic pearl jewels, they are leaving. The rhinestones are staying. But the classic pearls that we have, I was so shocked over that one. They have both, I think, been around in some variation or other. We used to have ones that came on a string, but very similar. So it was shocking to me that those were going. So I stamped this one a little bit differently, but that's okay. So we'll still place this in the same position. Oh, missed that little guy. So what I was saying to you guys earlier, I love how they gave us these in 3 different sizes. And oh, you know what? I had put a little spatter of the boho blue blends on that one, and I forgot to do that. I can still do that, and I'll show you guys how. So these here, though, I love how you get equal portions of large, medium, and small. I love when that works out, that you can do a scattering of the 3 different sizes in your triangular type of pattern, and they all match up. So you're not going to run out of one size before you run out of the other. Thank you, Linda. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I have packages of the large rhinestones. I use the medium and the small all the time, and I've got lots and lots of the large left over. So I try to come up with projects where I can use them, but it's a harder thing. So I want to show you how I can still add that spatter. You can see on this here, there's just a little bit, and it just gave it a little bit more detail. So I'll show you what you can do if you forget and you want to come in and add something like that. I'll show you a way around that. Just excuse that these have been used, but I am going to just sticky note the other details. And then we can still get a little bit of a spattering on the rest. You can see that I use these without getting the blue blends on the other parts. I just need to make sure this is the right color. No, this is a different new color that we will have. I think this is, oh, that's another blue one that we're gonna have. There's too many different new blue blends. Now maybe, there they are. Sorry, I'm digging in that box, but I haven't put everything away yet. Here we go, boho blue. So I'm going to just put a little bit of a spatter in there. So just mask the other things off. There we go. Now I can move all this. And I'll bring that a little closer so you can see. Now there's just a little bit of a sprinkling of that spatter over the greeting layer. And I think I said so, that this nice ticket shape with the stitched edge comes with those dies. This is going to be a staple. This is probably going to be like this scallop border from the penned petals or penned flowers dies that just never leaves my magnetic tray. I've got a magnetic tray handy here. This one will probably stay in there because I think it's going to be a staple. It's like high enough that you can fit a lot of greetings and it's not too long. So that might be, I think it's going to be a good staple for me. All right, so that is the project for today. I want to just quickly grab some In Color stuff and show you guys what will be included with In Color Club for those who might be interested in that. You never share, sorry, no worries. So I'll quickly grab some stuff here so you can see what will be included. So I'll just move these aside for now. I don't want those to get squished. We have, there's markers, there is the ribbon, there's DSP, so we have these, then of course we have, let's see, boho blue, so every month you get one color. So we'll take the 5 colors, and if there's 5 participants, everybody gets a different color. So you would get the 4 or 5 sheets of the cardstock. You would get your ink pad. You would get the set of blends to go with it. You would get the boho blue marker. You would get 2 yards of the ribbon. You would get all of the DSP that goes with your color. There is also actually another embellishment. Don't know if I'm allowed to say so just yet or not. I think so. There's twine anyway. So you would get that. I just need to grab the refill for this one. I should have grabbed it out sooner. So this is just an example of one color. Obviously it would be whatever color you would get all these items. So you get the ink pads, the refill, the blends, the Stampin' Write marker, 4 sheets of cardstock, 8 sheets of DSP. There is also some In Color gems. I showed you guys those yesterday. So you would get the strip of the gems in the color that you are getting that month. And then you would also get 2 yards of the ribbon and 2 yards of the, or no, sorry, 5 yards of the twine. The twine comes in 5 yards on a roll of the color that you're getting. So that's what you would get each month. And then we would make projects that would feature your color of the month. Let me see, I think I have. So this is an example when we did the snowman bundle. This was one of the ones that we did. So we've got, oh, those are both Orchid Oasis. We made that and this that month. So we did a shaker card and then we did another card. So just to give you an example, so everybody that got this card, they got it in their color. And then in this one, everybody got it in their color. So yeah, and then as a gift, they got the glitter paper, I think it was, as host kind of credit. So I would add in something as well that you would get as a host benefit for joining the In Color Club. Last year, it was $65 a month to get all of that stuff. And then this year it will be $67.50. It just went up a tiny bit to cover the difference in cost. I will absorb the cost of the amount of supplies, but I wanted to keep the cost for the club down as much as possible. So $67.50 a month. If you needed shipping, shipping would be on top of that, but everything would come to me. I'd split it up like this so that you would get your all of the supplies in your color, and then that would get sent to you, or you can pick it up here if you're local. What was I going to say about that? I don't remember. Does anyone have any questions about In Color Club? We would start in May, and then we would choose a stamp set that we would feature each month. So then you could choose to opt into the stamp set or not, but you would get the supplies to make the projects. We would meet on Zoom, and then you would always be able to watch the replay if you can't actually join in on the night of. But I will put out registration for this. And then, oh, what I was going to say is $67.50 a month is a little bit easier than spending all of the money at once to get all of these products in all of the colors. So doing it that way helps you slowly collect the supplies over time. And then that way, by the end of the 5 months, you have all of these products in all 5 of the colors. So that's a little bit easier on the budget that way. So you can let me know if you're interested. I will put out an official registration, but if you know in the meantime that it's something that interests you, just let me know, and then hopefully we'll have at least 5 people to make it easier to split up the color collections. So yeah, that is In Color Club. Once again, if you wish to do a retiring list order, their stuff, I think the other day the sold out list was at about 50 items, so don't delay if there's something that you want to use. I know since yesterday the French version of the Abigail Rose has sold out, but the rest is still available. I was able to order it for somebody today. So again, if you choose to place an order, you get a free gift with a $65 order, and then you get an invite to my retirement party and the free gift with a $100 order. You can either use this host code and shop online, or you can let me know if you would like help to place that order. If you've already placed one that qualifies you for this and you still have more stuff to order and you want to qualify for my birthday class, the other host code is still open for that as well. So you can either find it on my page or message me if you want help with that. And I will go live again tomorrow with the other project that I have saved. So I'll go through the comments afterwards and see what the consensus was on timing. And then I will post earlier in the day tomorrow, or else tonight, to let you know when the time will be, so that you have a little bit more notice than I put today. The day just got away on us with everything else going on. So yeah, I will see you guys again tomorrow. I appreciate you guys coming to join me for the creation of these cards here. So I just love that, how that is with all of those in colors there. So again, just a recap, if you wish to share, feel free to share and then comment, and then I'll enter you in the draw to win this card. And if you want to come back and play with the creative challenge, if you are a demonstrator and you already have the in colors, or if you're thinking of joining to get the in colors early, you can make something with these colors or this layout to be entered into the creative challenge draw. And I'll post that photo, and then you're going to comment under the photo of this card with your creative challenge entry. Hopefully that makes sense. Comment if you have any questions though, and I will do my best to get back and answer. Thanks again for joining, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow.